Salute to the Colonel, nigga. Master P. Colonel James Montgomery. The North is bout it. He gave Harriet Tubman guns, nigga. Real shit. Google it. Ohio, nigga. We bout it. I'm from the O-H-I-O. The clan don't want smoke, cause we quick to tag they toes. Boom. We from the North. We take no shows. Kidnap these crackers and hang they throats by the rope. We with Lincoln, fuck you hunky stinking, bloody your white sheets and lead the clan stinking. Stank. This Ohio, slaves came for survival, Confederate Dixie flag, Ku Klux Klan are my rivals. I got my rifle, and I'm killing rebels. Mustafa Muhammad, call them white devils. This supreme wisdom, you ain't on my level. Paramount is dead, go and get the shovel. Dropping mystic clues, Union soldiers in blue. Hey, free the slaves, pussy nigga, won't you tell the truth? What you scared for? A line of black folks, stop telling niggas it was a trick from the North. Slavery got you fucked, cause it's in your DNA. Abe ain't free the slaves, it's some whole shit to say. Cause we bout it, I don't doubt it. Harriet Tubman, Union soldiers, won't you niggas shout it? Shout 54, Massachusetts. Abe gave us guns, we marched south and we used them. 7-shot Spencers when the South was against us. You can see I'm getting defensive cause your lies be offensive. You don't make sense, get your ass off the fence. Harriet Tubman would've shot you cause you acting like a bitch. You a bitch. What side you on? Screaming in the microphone. Union soldiers on patrol told the South get gone. We beat them, they suckers we defeat them. Emancipation Proclamation, Battle of the Kingdom. Won't you Google, nigga? You a doodle, nigga. Try to come against me and watch me do that voodoo, nigga. Union shooters, strapped with the Rugers. We beat breast and brag, fag ass in Chattanooga. South Carolina, they won't out, cause Abe Lincoln took the White House. This is slavery, nigga. It's what it's about. Won't you check the records from the dirty South? These are facts, bitch. Won't you shut your fucking mouth? Trying to sound deep, YouTube chasing clout. We bout it, we rowdy. This Ohio nigga, and we been bout it. This the Civil War, won't you check the record? If the shit is false, won't you please contest it? William Sherman, he bout it, wrote 40 acres in the mule, so we bout it. Edward Stanton, he bout it, he the Secretary of War, so we bout it. General Grant, you know we bout it, made Lee surrender, cause he bout it. James Montgomery, he bout it, gave Harriet Tubman guns, so he bout it. We all from Ohio, nigga, cause we bout it. No slaves across the Ohio River, forget about it. This up north, nigga, we bout it. Ain't no slaves.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to Spiritual Politics TV. First order of business, because this is a quick live. Let me know if you can hear me. I always want to make sure that we straight. I don't want to be talking. I got the mic muted or anything like that. But let me know if you can hear me. Put that in the chat. We're gonna get this party started. All right. I know last week I said 3:30, but I think I'm gonna do 8:30 at nighttime. That way I give myself some time and whatnot. Hey, Michael, I appreciate it. All right. So JD Vance in the Ohio legacy, man. Ohio got some bona fide work. As I posted in my Patreon, you know, when I get on politics, it's mainly two reasons. One, it is to destroy the misinformation, the misconception, which is perception, which literally, to a degree, it locks you in the box, right? We come from the school of thought where the government is out to get us, ultimately destroy us. And then that kills your belief in God. One, if we want to get technical, it totally negates your belief in the supreme being, because you'll walk around here calling other people, you know, you give them the title of supremacy, right? I don't even like to say that term. It makes me want to just throw up. Like, I can't call another man supreme, right? And believe in the supreme creator. It's a total contradiction, right? So once we can unlock those rusty locks right there and see, like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. This is some information I don't recall or I wasn't taught about. And now this reshapes my perception within society. The second thing is really to get into this current so it can make sense. I do go to Twitter and I tweet the president, I tweet Elon, I tweet the government department, Doge, I tweet Donald Trump Jr., and I share it with, whoever I'm talking about, JD Vance and JD Vance News, because this is about us coming into the truth, and most importantly, for them to concur with this truth and do something about it. Most importantly, when I'm in this vein, I really be talking to men. Women are kind of excused from this topic in a sense, but nevertheless, I absolutely appreciate my spiritual warriors, my Harriet Tubmans that's out there. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get into it. Can Mr. JD Vance really continue the legacy from this great state? Civil War time, hands down. I'm not saying it because I'm born on this soil, but I'm telling you, hands down, we put the most work in, hands down. Pre-Civil War, colonial times, I always give them props. I'm gonna go with Massachusetts, then Pennsylvania. All right, put in some work on behalf of Black folks. All right, so let's talk about Ohio. JD Vance is from Ohio, right? And when you understand Ohio, before there was even the state of Ohio, Indiana, because Ohio was first, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, right? There was something called the Northwest Ordinance. This is before the Constitution is even written, right? And in the Northwest Ordinance, they're telling us, and I'll show you, they're telling us, like, hey, it ain't gonna be no slaves allowed in this new territory when we do get it. And this is Article 6 of the 1787 Northwest Ordinance. There should be neither what? Slavery, nor involuntary servitude in said territory. Facts. That's there. Article 6. This is the very last article of the 1787 Northwest Ordinance. Now, I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, at the very end, they said, done by the United States and Congress assembled the 13th day of July in the year of our Lord, 1787. Watch this last sentence. And of their sovereignty and independence the 12th. 1787 minus 12 brings us to 1775. The founding fathers considered their independence in 1775 and not 1776. I don't have a gripe with 1776. I keep saying the Philadelphia 75ers don't sound cool as the 76ers. If society want to honor the Declaration of Independence and say 1776, when it's signed, this is what we stand on as a country, you have every right to do. That's beautiful. The founding fathers said, nah, we counting when them gunshots started. And that was in 1775. Okay. So that's a little history that a lot of us probably don't know, but I'm telling you, and there's another document, I believe it's the Articles of Confederation and the Perpetual Union. At the very end, they styled that in the year of our Lord and was talking about 1775. All right. So in the Northwest Ordinance, from this place that JD Vance, the vice president, is from, no slaves are allowed in this territory. All right. Before. Now, look what Mississippi said. We're going to blow this up. We're going to take our time and go through this. Now, this is at Yale. Shout out to Yale. Shout out to Skull and Bones, because the founding members of Skull and Bones were abolitionists. I did a video on that. Okay. Straight up abolitionists. And one of them rode with John Brown, the infamous John Brown. So salute to Yale. Salute to Skull and Bones. All right. So this is the Declaration of Immediate Causes, which induce and justify the secession of the state of Mississippi from the federal union. And they says, listen, we go to the first paragraph. Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery. The greatest material interest of the world is labor supplies the product which constitutes by far the largest and most important portions of commerce of the earth. These products are peculiar to the climate, virgin on the tropical regions, and by imperious law of nature, none but the black race can bear exposure to the tropical sun. These products have become necessities of the world, and a blow at slavery is a blow at commerce and civilization. That blow has been long aimed at the institution. I repeat, that blow has been long aimed at the institution. Mississippi is saying, hey, man, the federal government is interfering and trying to destroy the institution of slavery. And it was at that point of reaching this consummation. There was no choice left us but submission to the mandates of abolition or a dissolution of the Union, whose principles had been subverted to work at our ruin. Now, watch this. That we do not overstate the dangers of our institution, a reference to a few facts will sufficiently prove. Point number one, they're making a claim and saying, listen, I'm about to prove to y'all that the United States of America has been against the institution of slavery. Point number one, the hostility to this institution commenced before the adoption of the Constitution. It was manifested in the well-known Ordinance of 1787 in regard to the what? Northwest Territory. Yes, that's what they said. This is Mississippi, who is on the record for having hung more black people than any other state, period. They're telling us that, hey, the federal government, man, they long been trying to chip away at the institution of slavery. And here go my point. Point number one, the 1787 Northwest Ordinance, before there was even a Constitution, there's a certain group of people, founding fathers, they don't like slavery, but we don't talk about them. We don't talk about them. Don't worry. We're going to get to know some of them. Don't you worry. I feel like I've been tasked to go ahead and do that. All right. Here's some history about the great state of Ohio. This is Oberlin College. On the left-hand side, you see a lady named Carol. Let me blow this up so I can make it bigger on my side. Caroline Steele Wiley Anderson, born in 1848, graduated from Oberlin, the only black woman in class, later taught at Howard University. 1878 became Philadelphia's first black doctor. Let's go to the right. On this day, 1862, Mary Jane Patterson made history when she became the first black woman to receive a college degree when she graduated from Oberlin, right? So now when we smoking Mary Jane, hey, this the real Mary Jane right here. This the Mary Jane that we need to be paying homage to when we smoking Mary Jane, okay? So Oberlin College had admitted black men and women in the early 1800s before the first historically college black HBCU, Historical Black College University. This is facts, okay? This is Oberlin College, founded by an abolitionist Christian minister, okay? Because sometimes we get mad at people with the Bible. The Bible enslaved our people. Yeah, but it was another group of people who believed in the Bible and said, nope, what you're doing is against the Bible, and we're going to stop this, okay? This is on the record, all right? All right. So let's get into this gentleman here. Boy, his hair is fly, man. He looked like my man Drew Down out of Oakland, California. Looked like he got the finger waves, right? So James Mitchell Ashley. All right. He was an American politician and an abolitionist, a member of the Republican Party. Ashley served as the member of the United States House of Representatives from Ohio during the American Civil War, where he became the leader of a group of people known as the Radical Republicans and pushed for the passage of the 13th Amendment. Not only did he push for the passage of the 13th Amendment, from what I saw, he actually is a co-author of the 13th Amendment. Okay. All right, let me bring this back. All right. 13th Amendment ends slavery. He also authored the resolution which started the first impeachment inquiry against Andrew Johnson, who was the vice president who became president after Abraham Lincoln, who gave the Confederates their land back. Mr. James Ashley was like, nah, this dude got to go. Okay, let's read the very last paragraph. James Ashley was an active abolitionist who traveled with who? John Brown's wife, the infamous John Brown, okay, to his execution in December 1859 and reported the event in the still extant local newspaper, the Toledo Blade. In 1858, he led the Ohio Republican Party. As the year ended, Ashley was elected to U.S. House of Representatives of the 36th United States Congress and took office the following year. One thing about this gentleman, ladies and gents, he actually was the floor manager in the House of Representatives, the one that introduced the bills. So when it came to the 13th Amendment, his job was to make sure that any bill going in front of the House, this is priority. This is getting pushed through. We're going to talk about this. We're going to vote on this. All right. Well, y'all better understand it was a beautiful takeover. One of the most beautiful things that happened was when the South tried to secede and start their own country, they were not in the United States Congress no more. Therefore, there was no opposition to anything that was favored for us because they were trying to form their own country. That was the perfect time to strike, the perfect time to pass these laws to make it lawful. All right. Beautiful, beautiful strategy that was played. You really got to understand this history. All right. All right. So salute to Mr. James Ashley up out of Ohio. In fact, man, his burial place is in Toledo. This year, I want to put together a tour and go put some flowers on people's grave, man, because I almost came to tears understanding that this man from Ohio and he helped author this bill. And we don't even know this. We don't even give people props. You know what I'm saying? We so ungrateful. All right. Let's go head over to Mr. Giddings. All right. Let me blow this up for me. Mr. Giddings, noted as a what? Leading abolitionist of his era. He was censored in 1842 for violating the gag rule against discussing slavery in the House of Representatives. Let's just deal with that real fast. This is important to understand. The gag rule was something that was introduced for about 7 to 8 years where the South in the House of Representatives said, listen, we're not talking about slavery. We're not talking about it. Anything that come up on the House floor about slavery, nope, we shelving it. And they went through this for like 7, 8 years. Look into it. All right. And salute to John Quincy Adams, the second president, John Adams, his son. His name is going to pop up in this. All right. Because he was the one who fought for that 7 and 8 years against that gag order until that gag order eventually got nullified. And then we can start talking about what we're going to do about this slave issue. All right. So he got censored doing this era right here. Mr. Giddings from Ohio. All right. It also states that last paragraph, for the start of the 1841 session, Giddings and some of his colleagues, all right, Mr. Seth Gates of New York, William Slade of Vermont, Sherlock Andrews of Ohio, and others constituted themselves, I'll say it again, themselves, a select committee on slavery devoted to driving that institution to extinction by any parliamentary and political means, legitimate or otherwise. Now, check out the underline. Not being an official committee, they met their operating expenses out of their pockets. Time out. So this wasn't an official committee in government. So it's like, forget it. We're just going to be our own committee, our own little boys club. We ain't got no government funding because we ain't a part of the government. We going to pay for this out of our pocket to make sure that this slavery issue get up out of here. I don't care if I got to go in my pocket. I'm willing to go in my pocket and finance this. Mr. Giddings from Ohio. Look at the dedication to that. He ain't had to do that. Look at the dedication of that. That's what you call put your money where your mouth at. All right. All right. Told you, bona fide soldiers. Now, Big Bluff Wade. Y'all got D Wade. We got Bluff Wade. All right. So Bluff Wade was an American lawyer and politician who served as a United States senator from Ohio from 1851 to 1869. He is known for his leading role among who? The radical Republicans. All right. He had the 1868 impeachment of U.S. President Andrew Johnson led to a conviction in the Senate. As the president pro tempore of the U.S. Senate, Wade would have become president for the remaining 9 months of Johnson's term. He's born in Massachusetts, right? And then you can see he's an opponent of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 and the Kansas-Nebraska Act, okay? Kansas-Nebraska Act historically First was the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise said, hey, ain't no slaves allowed to be above north 36 degrees latitude. Okay. Drew a line across the whole country. No slaves above this. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, who was authored by Stephen Douglas, who was running against Abraham Lincoln for the Illinois Senate seat and beat Lincoln in that particular race, he introduced that bill. And it basically, in the Kansas-Nebraska Act, it says, hey, we're going to call it popular sovereignty. Let the states decide if they want to have slaves or not. The federal government, you don't have no business in this. This is a state right issue. That passed. And when that passed, that pushed back the Missouri Compromise and nullified that. Okay. So that line in the sand, gone now through the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which gives birth to what? Bleeding Kansas, which now John Brown is going to come from Ohio, because John Brown lived in Ohio for a minute, from New York, but lived in Ohio, right? And then he's going to go into Lawrence, Kansas, and he's going to start killing, just shooting. He's going to start killing the white boys who want slaves, known as the Jayhawkers. Okay, this is a fact. All right. So Big Bluff Wade, he's like, no. I'm against this. All right. So a fellow abolitionist. All right. Furthermore, a little bit of history. When you're the president of the Senate, if the president's assassinated, the vice president is no longer the president for whatever reason, right? The House Speaker is not, then the fourth person in charge would be the president of the Senate, can become president of the United States. That's the rules of secession. Okay. And this is why he would have possibly had that seat. All right. So a little bit of history on that. All right. So during the Civil War, Wade was highly critical of President Abraham Lincoln's leadership in opposition to Lincoln's post-war plans, which he deemed too lenient and conciliatory. Wade sponsored the Wade-Davis bill. Now, what is the Wade-Davis bill? Inside of there, I know that it's something called the ironclad oath. Let's read it. And this is for the Confederates who want to come back into government. So it'd be Jefferson Davis, who was the so-called president of the Confederates. I, Jefferson Davis, do solemnly swear or affirm that I have never voluntarily borne arms against the United States since I have been a citizen thereof, that I have voluntarily given no aid, countenance, counsel, or encouragement to persons engaged in armed hostility thereto, meaning Confederates, that I have neither sought nor accepted nor attempted to exercise the functions of any office whatever under any authority or pretended authority in hostility to the United States. Again, talking about the Confederacy. That I have not yielded voluntary support to any pretended government suckers. Y'all was pretenders. Y'all don't even have a government, authority, power, or constitution within the United States, hostile or insular thereto. And I do further swear or affirm that, to the best of my knowledge and ability, I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose or evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which I am about to enter. So help me God. Now, we have to understand this and slow this down for a minute. The Confederates didn't like this, because now you're basically saying, I can't represent the Confederacy. Even though we lost the Civil War, I can't even say I represented that. The purpose of the ironclad oath was to disbar the Confederates from entering government. Look at that art of war strategy. Now, we just read that he was in opposition to Lincoln 10% plan and said, Lincoln, you're a little too soft on this issue, man. And Lincoln is like, yeah, but the war is over. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the main thing. The war is over. The slaves are free. I don't want to create no more tension than we already did. Like, we don't want to go back into civil war. It's all good because we won. So it's no need to really disbar them. We in power. And now they gotta follow suit now. So this ironclad oath was passed. Lincoln did something called a pocket veto, where basically he shelved it and he didn't endorse it by signing it, so it never became the official law. Okay, because Lincoln was in the middle. Lincoln was trying to basically have peace after war. We won, we beat y'all, we in control, ain't no slaves. 13th Amendment passed. This is just what it is. It ain't no need for me to step on y'all neck anymore. All right, just get in line now. That was Lincoln. And I can't knock that. I understand that. Because eventually, if you really understand what that kind of pressure brings, bro, you about to go to the movie theater with your wife, and tonight somebody gonna come up behind you and blow your brains out. All right. I keep telling y'all, and Frederick Douglass said it, and it's a known fact. When Lincoln got elected the first time, he got wind of an assassination plot in Baltimore on a train. Lincoln had to dress in a disguise from Baltimore to get into DC to become inaugurated. This is tough, man. This is tough. Okay? This is very tough. This is art of war stuff. So you got to get it. If you can't articulate that, right, as a man, I'm gonna call you a woman. Okay, like you gotta get out your emotions. We gotta really understand how this work. All right, this is military stuff. Your life is on the line. All right. Here's a book for those of you interested in politics called When It Was Grand: The Radical Republican History of the Civil War. This group of radical Republicans, man, shout out to Thaddeus Stevens. Shout out to all of them, man. Sumner from Massachusetts. Like these guys was putting in work. All right. So that's a good book to have. All right. Let's move over to my man, John Bingham, leading Republican congressman from Ohio, was the primary author of Section 1 of the 14th Amendment, which guarantees fundamental rights and equality to all Americans and is sometimes referred to as what? James Madison of the 14th Amendment. In the picture, Bingham is on the left of the two gentlemen. Bingham was one of the prosecutors against John Wilkes Booth, the assassinator of Abraham Lincoln. So Bingham, he knew law. So his whole thing was, out of these three prosecutors, he was one of them. All right. He wasn't playing no games. The 14th Amendment, what we got to understand is the 13th Amendment, these are known as the Civil Rights Amendments. 13th, 14th, 15th. Most of us don't know them. 13th is you free. You're not a slave no more. 14th is you a citizen. 15 is now do something. Vote. Freedom, citizen, vote. Freedom, citizen, vote. One more time. Freedom, citizen, vote. Okay, that's the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. All right. All right, let's move on. Boop. Salute to Salmon P. Chase. You know, this is my guy right here who Chase Bank is named in his honor. Salmon P. Chase, there's a famous case. The case of the colored woman Matilda. Salmon P. Chase went in Ohio as attorney and governor, but as an attorney, Salmon P. Chase was an abolitionist and he was defending black folks, defending slaves. Again, Chase Bank is named after him. This is why I say, spiritually speaking, that's why I call this channel Spiritual Politics. What is the irony? See, God got to be somewhere in this. Somebody need to explain this. What is the irony of the bank, the number one bank in the world, being named after this gentleman? But again, in contrast to Lehman Brothers, right, who collapsed in the 2007, 2008 housing crisis, and the federal government didn't bail Lehman Brothers out. Lehman Brothers headquarters was in Alabama. Lehman Brothers were Confederates, slaves, cotton trade. And one of the brothers actually was like, no, I'm joining the Confederacy in this Civil War. I don't like niggas. That was their disposition. So ironically, the federal government, who we just saw from Mississippi's own mouth, said, yo, the United States government's always been against the institution of slavery. I don't know what y'all talking about, black folks. The United States government is racist and they don't like, no, that ain't what Mississippi said. Mississippi said the government has always been against the institution of slavery. And this same government did not bail out the Confederate bank known as Lehman Brothers. Come on, man. Alhamdulillah, as we would say. Stop playing. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to God. Thank you, Jesus. Whatever it may be, there is a divine hand at work in our favor. Okay? All right, man. Stop being an idol worshiper and making the white man your daddy and making him your God, man. And white supremacy. Boy, that drives me crazy. All right? All right. Let's move on to my man, the OG, Mr. Ulysses Grant. Grant is important because what? He makes Robert Lee surrender. It's over. April 9th, 1865, man. You should never forget that date. So celebrate on that date. April 9th, 1865, Robert Lee surrendered. Grant beat him down. All right. When you're dealing with Grant, this is now the 15th Amendment that he signs. And here come your first black senators and congressmen, your House reps. Hiram Revels, first black senator from Mississippi. Benjamin Turner in Alabama. You come on, man. Like you see them, they all here from the dirty South. They step into Congress under Grant. So Grant is 15th Amendment. Okay. So what did we just see, Mr. JD Vance? What we just saw is you come from a state when a gentleman co-wrote the 13th Amendment, Ashley, right? You come from a state where a gentleman was considered James Madison, who was considered the father of the Constitution, who authored the 14th Amendment, Bingham. And then Grant is the one who signs off on the 15th Amendment. Mr. JD Vance, what you gonna do? Now, hold on, I'm serious about this. See, Trump want to say that he think he's the next best thing to Abraham Lincoln. I give you one. I want you to be better than Abraham Lincoln, Mr. Trump. But you got some work to do that. And if anybody up to the challenge, boy, I know my Trump can get it done. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me, if I like Trump, I don't care. Okay? Because I know, far as historical wise, who was on our side. So if you identify and lining yourself up with the elephant, then all right, come on, man, we got some work to do, because the whole Republican Party was started with one mission and one mission only. That was known as the Abolitionist Party. I keep telling y'all, go to the 1858 Lincoln Douglas debates, go to debate number 4, hit Control F on your computer and type in Republicanism, and you're going to see that Abraham Lincoln's opponent, Mr. Stephen Douglas, who I just told you is the one who sponsored the Kansas-Nebraska Act, said the Republican Party is black republicanism. That's what the man said. I just gave you the source to go find it. Do it yourself. I ain't lying. Go check it out. Okay? So I want Mr. Vance. You come from a rich history. This is the place where the slaves was running to get free. Cross that Ohio River and you free. Okay? That's the fact. Who the slaves said, you know what? We identify ourselves kind of like the Israelites in the Bible. So the Ohio River, we're going to call that the River Jordan. That's what they say historically. Okay? So we're going to come on up north. And of course, you can go around the Ohio River and go the DC way and then go, the Maryland way, then get up into Pennsylvania. But hey, this territory we saw was already carved out before the Constitution was signed. There ain't going to be no slaves in this new territory. That's a fact. They stood on that. And then when it happened, the people from this state said, yo, hold on. What? Oh, we banging on the South. Let's go. We banging on the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment. Now it's time to do war. Oh, Grant, you the man. All right. You from Ohio. You the man. Who's Grant's number 2 man? Oh, y'all know who I'm going to go to. You know who I'm going to go to. You know who I'm going to go to. Oh, this is my guy right here. This is my guy right here. The author of Special Field Order number 15, popularly known as 40 Acres in the Mule, William T. Sherman, my war general. All right. I don't care. In my mind, I was a United States colored troop, a part of the 5th Regiment. All right. And I was taking orders and I was down there with Uncle Billy shooting at Confederates in my mind. So I don't want to talk about white supremacy. I want to talk about the people who was on my side that gave our ancestor guns to go down south and shoot the slave master. You can kill the slave master if he was a part of the Confederacy. Shoot. Okay? You got no better reparations than that. That was beautiful. Okay? Anyway, William T. Sherman, Lancaster, Ohio. All right? All right. So what am I saying? I am saying a couple years ago, Trump made an announcement that he wanted to buy federal lands to create 10 future cities. Beautiful. I'm saying, Mr. JD Vance, you come from a very rich legacy. To keep this legacy going, to build on that, what can you do? I say push Trump either as an individual investor and or part of government, but I definitely say government, for get these federal lands. And within these federal lands, there is something known as the 51st district. Now, the 51st district can be what we would call something like, to a degree, sort of got this. I ain't gonna say reparations. I wanted to say reparations, but here's the truth, and I'm gonna have to do a video on this. This is what we have to admit in politics with the United States. United States of America have to admit that Reconstruction was an epic fail. United States of America have to admit that in 1877, right, Rutherford B. Hayes, which I don't want to say it, but I have to, it's the truth, from Ohio, okay, won the election by one electoral vote against a gentleman by the name of Samuel Tilden. And this is known as the 1877 Compromise. It's about to get bloody again, and we about to go back in the Civil War because we want to recount. The South think we cheating. The North said we ain't cheating. Y'all cheating. It's about to get bloody. So allegedly, this 1877 compromise is an off-the-record compromise that says, listen, the Republicans won. We're going to be the president. But in return, as president, I am going to withdraw the United States federal troops, the Union Army, out of the South. Slavery's over. And when they did that, that's when Jim Crow started. Come on, we got to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us God. So Jim Crow starts right there. So now the black codes, which is a Southern thing, now the Confederate is over. The Confederacy is over. But now here comes the Ku Klux Klan. Now here comes the literacy test. Now comes all these obstacles that black people can't overcome. And now the truth is, if the 15th Amendment gave us the right to vote because we started getting black senators and congressmen, so it gave us the right to vote, why is it, and let's say that's 1870, why is it that Martin Luther King has to come 95 years later and say, yo, LBJ, Barry Goldwater, the Republican, who I don't think is racist. This is Martin Luther King saying this, who I don't think is racist. But although Goldwater, the Republican Party, who's the champion for black rights, Goldwater think this is unconstitutional, the Civil Rights Act. He's not endorsing it. What you got for this black vote, LBJ? Yeah, I can push that through, no problem. And that happened. And then the big switch came. Keep telling you, got to watch what do we call in 64? The 1964 Impala is the one that got the hydraulics. I'm keep telling you, man, hit the switch on them. That's when you be bouncing in your hydraulics, right? That's your 64 Impala. That same year is when the major switch had happened. Facts, right? Facts. All right. So we got to tell the truth. We didn't vote in the South for 95 years when we had the constitutional right to vote. So your former enemy, the traitors, those who committed treason, yes, those who committed treason said, nah, F your constitutional rights. Y'all ain't voting. We back in power down here on the local level. So that means the county sheriff, that means the state troopers, that means the governor, that means the mayors. All of this, we running this still here on the local side. Forget the federal side. On the local side, y'all ass is grass, black man and black woman. And that's what happened. We had a constitutional right to vote for 95 years. And something happened. Got to tell the truth. Right? So that got to get fixed. We just can't sweep that under the rug. And listen, I'm a coon now. So I'm telling you as a coon, you got to fix it. I can deal with black folks because black folks don't know this shit. So I spank their ass with this, but you got to fix it. A right is a right. All right. So what will Mr. JD Vance do? And I'm telling y'all, man, listen, man, take this, go over to X. I can still call it Twitter, but go over to X, right? Tweet away. Drop this thing, man. Y'all should really check this out. Something got to be done. Because we cannot act like we still don't have a problem in society when you know good and well that Black folks don't trust the government. You know good and well that, you know, we can start pulling out some stuff. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, man, look like there's been some discrepancies here. Look like it's definitely absolutely been some redlining. It's been some, you know, some policies that wasn't in our favor and whatnot. Something got to get fixed, man. There has to be a gesture to wipe this horrible sin. And our founding fathers, certified G's. What? And I ain't talking about the founding fathers from the South. I'm talking about the other founding fathers, the ones that's against slavery. I did a video on that and do another one on it, right? They was always against the institution of slavery. Forget the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. I direct your attention to my favorite document is 1774. The Articles of Association in point number 2 says we will wholly discontinue in the slave trade come this upcoming December. The month was October. They don't even have 2 more months yet, or 2 full months to say we done. We finished with slavery. King George, this is a wrap. We don't want this in the 13 colonies in this new nation that we building. Abraham Lincoln, who we know 3 years ago, however that go, right here, this document right here, right? What's it say? 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Abraham Lincoln is pulling what? What are you talking about? Oh, he's talking about the Declaration of Independence from Thomas Jefferson. So Abraham Lincoln is getting his playbook and building off the legacy of the founding fathers. So Trump and Vance, still, you got some work to do to build on that legacy. And I want to help you get there. I really do. Be greater than them. Continue the evolution. Because what do I say? It is our responsibility to always leave a place in a better condition than where we found it. We just can't sit up there and be like, oh, this is in shambles. This is messed up and don't do nothing about it. If everybody took that approach, it would have never been no change. Never. So somebody got to be bold. All right. So let's be bold. Let's go ahead and grab these federal lands and we can do something. From a calculation I did, what I saw, and I'm just going to say hypothetically, right? This is may not be actual facts, but they say that the debt at the time, the Civil War basically had cost a little over, I think, $26 billion. It drove the federal debt up $26 billion. All right. Now, here's an idea just to kind of get a framework. Well, how do you do this? Okay. Those 11 states that joined the Confederacy, let's say hypothetically, it is $26 billion. They cost us that war, man. They did that. Abraham Lincoln didn't start the Civil War. The United States government did not start the Civil War. The record reflects that South Carolina said, you know what? There go a United States boat, and it's called the Star of the West, and it's in our port at Charleston, right? Known as Fort Sumter. Let's shoot up that boat. And they shot up the boat. United States government said, oh, wait a minute, y'all did what? Okay, meet me at Manassas, Virginia, aka Bull Run. Bull Run is what the North call it. Manassas is what the South call it. Let's meet in Manassas, Virginia, and let's fight. Since you want to fire the first shot, let's fight. The South started that. The South is on the record for seceding, trying to secede and leave the Union and form their own country. Therefore, since they were the aggressor, and we know they were, they are the cause of this $26 billion in debt that we incurred. So if the federal government allots money to states for whatever reason, infrastructure, whatever reasoning you do, then let's take that $26 billion and let's adjust it for today's inflation rate. So whatever that number is, and let's divide it by 11. But even if we dealt with, let's just say 26 billion, right? 26 billion by what? 11 is like 236 million in some change, 236 million. So each state, hey, y'all responsible for $236 million. And that's not even adjusted for inflation. But hypothetically, just to get an idea of a framework, y'all responsible for a portion of this debt that was incurred by y'all because y'all started this. And we got to make all the citizens right. And we know the biggest issue that we have in the United States of America is the history of slavery. So we're going to make this right. So whatever federal dollars that we give to you, a percentage of that, we may help you. The federal government may help you out because the federal government did allow what we call the black codes, and you allowed the discrimination, you allowed the murder, you allowed the coloreds and all the segregation and all that kind of stuff to happen. It happened under your watch, man. You did. It happened. So then you can chip in and say, you know what? I'm going to allot in a percentage of what we give y'all towards this total portion of your share of this debt that was incurred during the Civil War. So we're going to pitch in on that. And then that's going to go towards what Trump is proposing, these 10 future cities inside of a 51st district that's all throughout the United States, wherever we buy these federal lands and develop. That's what I'm talking about. This is how we get the ball rolling, start kind of putting some structures on some things. All right. So that's pretty much my spiel. Had Lincoln listened to the radical Republicans, we wouldn't even have this conversation. We really wouldn't be in this. We wouldn't listen, the radical Republicans with the Wade Davis bill, the ironclad oath, the Confederates was not coming back into local government power. Therefore, there wouldn't have been no Jim Crow. It couldn't have happened. But Lincoln thought it was too hard. He didn't foresee that part. The radical Republicans saw that part. And Lincoln is a GOAT. But that don't mean like Jordan is a GOAT. But that don't mean Jordan hit every shot. He won every championship though, but he didn't hit every shot that he took though. Right? He didn't win every single game, but he absolutely won the championships for sure, right? So my point is, nobody is perfect, and we got to continue to build on the legacy. All right. So that is my spiel. I got faith in you, JD Vance. You come from the great state known as the heart of it all. This was a state and territory that was dedicated to freedom. This is where slaves ran for their freedom. This is the home of the Underground Railroad. And there's so much history that I know you know about that comes from this great state. All right. So do something great. I wish you the best Godspeed. May the forces be with you. All right. So with that, this is the Union Soldier. I'm up out of here. All right. See y'all later.
Salute to the Colonel, nigga. Master P. Colonel James Montgomery. The North is bout it. He gave Harriet Tubman guns, nigga. Real shit. Google it. Ohio, nigga. We bout it. I'm from the O-H-I-O. The clan no won't smoke, cause we quick to tag they toes. Boom. We from the North. We take no shows. Kidnap these crackers and hang their throats by the rope. We with Lincoln. Fuck you hunky thinking. Bloody your white sheets and lead the clan stinking. This Ohio, slaves came for survival. Confederate Dixie flag, Ku Klux Klan are my rivals. I got my rifle, and I'm killing rebels. Master Far Muhammad, call them white devils. This supreme wisdom, you ain't on my level. Paramedic is dead, go and get the shovel. Dropping Mr. Clues, Union soldiers in blue. Abe, read the slaves, pussy nigga, won't you tell the truth? What you scared for? A line of black folks, stop telling niggas it was a trick from the North. Slavery got you fucked, cause it's in your DNA. Abe ain't freed the slaves, it's some whole shit to say. Cause we bout it, I don't doubt it. Harriet Tubman, Union soldiers, won't you niggas shout it? Shout 54, Massachusetts. Abe gave us guns, we marched south and we used them. 7-shot Spencers when the South was against us. You can see I'm getting defensive cause your lies be offensive. You don't make sense, get your ass off the fence. Harriet Tubman would've shot you cause you acting like a bitch. You a bitch. What side you on? Screaming in the microphone. Union soldiers on patrol told the South get gone. We beat them, they suckers we defeat them. Emancipation Proclamation, Battle of the Kingdom. Won't you Google, nigga? You a doodle, nigga. Try to come against me and watch me do that voodoo, nigga. Union shooters strapped with the Rugers. We beat Breast and Bragg, Fag Ass and Chattanooga. South Carolina, they won't out, cause Abe Lincoln took the White House. This is slavery, nigga. It's what it's about. Won't you check the records from the dirty South? These are facts, bitch. Won't you shut your fucking mouth? Trying to sound deep, YouTube chasing clout. We bout it. We rowdy. This Ohio, nigga, and we been bout it. This the Civil War. Won't you check the record? If the shit is false, won't you please contest it? William Sherman. He bout it, wrote 40 acres in the mule, so we bout it. Edward Stanton. He bout it, he the Secretary of War, so we bout it. General Grant. You know we bout it. Made Lee surrender, cause he bout it. James Montgomery. He bout it, gave Harriet Tubman guns, so he bout it. We all from Ohio, nigga, cause we bout it. No slaves across the Ohio River, forget about it. This up north, nigga, we bout it. Ain't no slaves.